Hello and welcome to government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at the second part for the need for or the importance of revenue allocation. So we are looking at the part 2 for the reasons why we need revenue allocation in a country, or the importance of revenue allocation in a country. To promote standard of living, the need for the promotion of the economic and well-being of each state or region in the country is also another reason that necessitated the adequate allocation of revenue in Nigeria. So to promote the standard of living, to promote the economic and social well-being of each state or region is another reason why we need to allocate revenues adequately, equally, and in an acceptable way. This could be achieved only when revenues are allocated based on population needs and equality principles. So to promote the standard of living of a country, revenue needs to be allocated based on the principle of the population, the needs, and the equality principle. So another reason why we need revenue allocation, or another importance of revenue allocation, is to promote the economic and social well-being of the state or region in the country. And this can only be done when the revenues are allocated on the basis of population, needs of the state, and the equality principles. We have a class where we talked about the principles for revenue the principles for revenue allocation. Please check our previous videos to know more on principles of revenue allocation. The next need for or importance of revenue allocation is for rural development. One of the needs for equitable allocation of revenue is to promote the development of rural areas in terms of industrialization and infrastructure, so that rural dwellers will have feelings of belonging by bringing the government nearer to them or closer to them. Another reason why we need revenue allocation is to ensure that the nation's resources are allocated in such a way that even those at the rural level will feel that the government is not far from them. They would also develop themselves in terms of industrialization. They'll be able to create industries, and at the same time, thereabouts creating employment opportunities too for the people around the rural areas and infrastructures. So for rural development, we need revenue allocation to ensure that the people of the rural areas do not feel like the government is far from them. They feel they have a sense of belonging to the nation. We need revenue allocation to ensure the development of rural areas in terms of infrastructure and industrialization. We need revenue allocation. Another importance of revenue allocation is discharging of responsibilities. Each and every tier of government, all the citizens and nation, certain political, social, and economic obligations, which can only be discharged or accomplished when there is adequate revenue allocation. So the federal government, the state government, and the local government, all the citizen and the nation at large, setting political, social, and economic responsibilities, and they can only accomplish these obligations when there is adequate revenue allocation. For example, they hold the citizens of the nations good healthcare centers. They hold them schools for those that cannot afford to go to private schools. These are some of the responsibilities that the government or the citizens, and they can only accomplish these obligations when there is adequate revenue allocation. They can only build hospitals, maternity centers, schools, when there is adequate revenue allocation. And with this, we've come to the end of this class. In this class, we looked at the reasons why we need revenue allocation, or some of the importance of revenue allocation. And I'll see you at the next class.